Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here and welcome back to my channel. And I do mean that because recently a few new people have joined. I don't know if you guys have heard, but I am on a TV show all about The Sims 4, which is The Sims Sparked. And that's what this whole video is about. This isn't sponsored or anything, but it does contain spoilers for the first episode of the show. So if you haven't seen the first episode, if you don't know the result, I would suggest maybe going to watch the show if you don't want it to be spoiled in this video. And it's gonna be a little bit spoilery because I want to talk about my experience of being on Team Gnome and winning the first two challenges and what that actually led to in the Sims 4 eco lifestyle. So if you watch the first episode, you will know that obviously my team, which is made up of myself, Simproved, and Plumbella, aka Jessie and Fry, I will link both of them down below and also at the end of this video. Incredible teammates. Like, I got so lucky when it came to picking our teammates. And we actually didn't get to pick. I don't really think they talked about it in the first episode, and I've seen a lot of people say like, why didn't you put this person on this team? We chose them out of a bag. So they were completely chosen at random. But for winning the first elimination challenge, The Sims actually decided to put our family in the game. I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were pulling our leg. I thought it meant that, like, well, we're gonna put, like, your creation up on the gallery and people can choose to download it if they wish to. If they want to have it in their game, I swear I thought there was gonna be some kind of loophole because I was like, they can't give us this power. They can't give us the power to be a sim guru for the day and have our own family and build in the game. They meant it. They kept their promise. So Team Gnome, we decided that we were gonna create these lesbian elder hippies, which I love because I don't think we've had an older lesbian couple in the game before now, which was just really nice anyway. And as soon as the judges said what they were looking for, they were like, we want family aspects. I was like, boom. We're gonna do chosen family. Like, I wanted to go down that route. So we all came together, we built this storyline around this sim whose father worked really, really hard to get the money, but he worked so hard that he lost touch with his wife and his daughter. So his wife actually ran away with the daughter and they bumped into Mary and Blossom, who kind of took them into their community, helped them build a treehouse, and also like taught this little girl all about her craft. She got super into gardening because of Mary, who was a gardener, and Blossom was really into painting and had a passion for hobbies, and they kind of just lived off the land, and it was just this really cute, wholesome story about chosen family instead of like being blood relatives. So that's the storyline we decided to go for. Like, 5 hours isn't that long to create a fully functional build. Like, a family, I think in the end we had like maybe 8 Sims, which I don't know how Jessie did that, and then also a fully like thought out storyline. So the pressure was on, we managed to win, and then just before Eco Living, like whilst it was in development, we got a call that said, hey, we want to keep our promise to you, we still want to put your family into the game. Do you think that they'd fit into eco lifestyle? And like straight away, my mind was like, absolutely. Like, saving the environment, like they lived off the land anyway. They weren't harming the environment in any way. I was like, these Sims are pretty much perfect for this pack. So the team asked if we could just all hop on a Discord call. They basically gave us all the basics. They were like, we want a build from you guys. We also want the Sims. We did just decide that we were only going to use Mary and Blossom. So if you were wondering like where the other Sims were from that family, it's just Mary and Blossom. So they are actually in eco lifestyle, and Then they also added Nox. I've had a couple of questions about Nox being like, wait, did Team Gnome actually like create Nox as well? Because he's their adopted son. We did not make Nox. He was already part of the pack when we were actually brought on board. So the team already had Nox, and they were like, we were thinking we obviously want to keep this title sim in, and we were thinking, would he fit in with the family's theme and their story? And he definitely did. I mean, he's super passionate about the environment, and he's like trying to like warn people about the harm that they're having on the ecosystem of the world. And they also live in the industrial area, so we had this like canon in our head that when it starts going green, like all the graffiti all over the tankers and stuff like that, that was all done by Blossom, which I think was Simproved's idea. So Fry came up with that like little head canon, and it was just a really nice head nod to kind of bring the environment into their story as well. There definitely wasn't as much of a restriction on Creator Sim as there was with build mode, because in Creator Sim it's just like don't use mods or custom content and try to either use base game or Eco Lifestyle. Like, Eco Lifestyle was the only pack that we had installed on the build that we received, so that was easy. Whereas when it comes to the build, there's like specific restrictions about how many items you can have on your lot, how it functions, you can't use any cheats, so it's very different from how Fry like naturally builds. But me and Jesse kind of decided to take a backseat on the build because Fry had done all these amazing things on Sparked, and like watching Simprove build was like mind-blowing to me. The fact that she could do it like so quickly and just like focus on it, like laser focus. It was crazy to watch. Like, it felt like such an honor to be able to be in the same room, like sat at the same computer. So we decided just to like let Fry have the reins on that one, like take the game, play around with it. We obviously discussed what we wanted to do because we had a treehouse element, and the build that we originally built on was a 50-50 lot, whereas I think the one that we got in Eco Lifestyle was a 30x20, so a much smaller space, but we wanted to take the same dynamics. So we wanted a tall structure which represented the original treehouse, and then we wanted a shorter structure which represented the caravan. So we decided that we were going to try and do a crane, see if we could get away with it, because we didn't know if the Sims team were going to turn back around and be like, no, this is completely unplayable, like, people aren't going to know how to, like, reach up there, like, we don't know how the ladders are going to work in such a small space. So we were just like, Fry, why don't you go off, build something, send it to us, like, we'll tour it in about a week's time, and then we'll send it to the gurus and see if it's okay. But Fry has done a video talking all about the build in more depth, so I'll link that down below if you guys want to go check that out. And then obviously with Jesse and I, Jesse had already created The Sims, and I obviously was doing the story, and so we decided to collaborate together. And I basically took The Sims in a save file, and then I just like went through and decided on what clothes they were gonna wear and see like the eco lifestyle. So I basically did a little Pinterest board of outfits that I think that they could wear that fitted their story quite well, with Mary being a gardener and Blossom being an artist. And then we all came back together on the call like a week later, and I was like, Jesse, these are your Sims, obviously, like, how do you feel about them? Like, the outfits I've chosen. And then we kind of just collaborated on the outfits. So that was how it went for Create a Sim, because we wanted it to still feel quite natural to these Sims. Like, we didn't just want it to feel like the Sims team had plucked these Sims out of Willow Creek and our initial story and then just plunk them over into Port Promise and like didn't really think about the continuity or like why they were there or what they were doing there. We wanted it to make it seem really natural, and I definitely think we got that. Like, it definitely feels as if they moved there to try and save the environment and to like make people realize what they were doing was hurting Port Promise, and so they were trying to like bring color to it and bring a more vibrant lifestyle back into the neighborhood. And then what was really cool is that we had like full creative freedom with this family. So the Sims team were like, what skills do you need the Sims to have? Obviously, like, we still wanted it to feel as if the player could go in and still do stuff with that family. So it was really cool to get a kind of behind the scenes look at like why the gurus decide on what skills and like what level they should be. And it's basically so that you can still go into that family and still have something to work towards. And then they also, like, if you want to write the family bio, I think they did a few little tweaks on it, but as the storyteller, I was like, I'm happy to do the family bio. So I just typed something small up, and I think they made a couple of tweaks here or there, but it's pretty much like my words that went into the bio, which is Mary and Blossom are a couple of old timers in this town. They're trying to spruce up the place. Obviously, that was kind of our headcanon of making it look a little bit better and add more color and just like make it feel like a familial place. With Mary focused on her garden and Blossom painting up unused spaces. Obviously, that's a little head nod to the kind of paintings on the floor that you can get. Age isn't on their side anymore, however. It's a good thing their adopted son Knox is fighting for the family name to help make the world a little more green. Unfortunately, sometimes he takes fighting a little too literally. So I absolutely love that the team were like, we don't want to take this away from being your original family. Like, we want to work with you guys as much as we can to like still have all the main elements of what make Mary and Blossom and keep your story as close to it as possible, even if we do change the adopted kid. And then if we hop into the actual gameplay, you can kind of see where the story element of these two comes into it. So we had Mary be a freelance botanist because obviously she is super into gardening. We also had to keep the slippers. Originally, obviously she was wearing like this yellow outfit, but we didn't want to get rid of the socks and slippers. Jessie was like, if there's one thing I want Mary to still rock the socks and slippers. So we kept those on in Create a Sim, which I love. Like, that is so quirky. I don't think I've ever seen a Sim walk around in socks and slippers in an everyday wear. When Jessie actually created her on the show, they were the closest thing to Crocs that we could find in base game, so we just went with them, and I'm really glad that they stayed. We gave her the new eco lifestyle trait, which was Green Fiend. The base game loves the outdoors and also family oriented. Of course, family oriented was going to be in there. This sim is Jessie's sim, and Jessie is the most family oriented person I know. And then skills wise, obviously a level 4 gardening, which suggests that she takes gardening seriously, but like we said, the Sims team wanted people to like still come into this and feel like they could play this family, and if we had given her like a master of gardening, like you wouldn't have really played with the gardening that much because you're like, oh well, she's already mastered that skill. Like, clearly I don't need to have her be a like gardener, like she doesn't need to garden whatsoever. And also juice fizzing because they live off the land. And then for Blossom has fabrication and also the painting skill. Painting is obviously a lot higher, but you can see that they're sort of trying to live off their own property and fabricate things when they can. We actually changed Blossom's lifetime aspiration. She was originally wanted to be an artist, but I really like that we could change it and we actually made her a master maker. So she's still got that creativity streak, but you can just like assume that she's probably already completed painting and maybe has moved on to bigger and better things when Eco Lifestyle came out. And then also for her Simology, she is a recycled disciple, keeping that creative theme, and instead of making her an artist, making her a maker to get the most out of Eco Lifestyle if you were to play through this family. And also kept the creative personality trait because honestly, it wouldn't be Blossom if we didn't. So those are the family, and this is the lot. But like I said, if you want to go check out like a better description of the lot and kind of the inspiration behind it and why Fry chose to do what she did with it, definitely go check out Fry's video because it's awesome and it's so in-depth, and she talks a little bit more about like the limitations and how that was different as a builder. I'm probably not the best person to talk about that. Also, what I will say is obviously Jessie, aka Plumbella, is a whore for lore, so it only felt right that we actually designed this lot with our Sims in mind. So we actually put down like objects that relate to their interests and their skills. So obviously we have a juice fizzing machine because Mary is into juice fizzing, and then we also have a recycler and a bits and pieces like fabricator and a candle thing. All of these things obviously play a major role in the eco lifestyle, but with like Nox being all about recycling and like going around to your Sims houses and being like, hey, you have a recycling machine, like can I use it? Maybe his broke or something. So we just wanted to fit in with the story and like have interactable objects that like actually made sense to their interests, so that you didn't have to just go into build and buy mode and find all of these objects. Honestly, everyone keeps asking me like, how does it feel? Like, does it feel real? It definitely felt more real when the pack came out, but obviously we couldn't talk about it. So we were sat on this secret and we were like, oh, I really want to just scream from the rooftops that we have a family in The Sims 4, but we're not allowed to, because at that point we didn't know when like Sparked was going to air. We didn't know how long it would be until we could actually tell the world. So I know we were just like all talking to each other like, oh my god, have you seen this person's reaction to the family? Or, oh, they all love the lot. Like, it was really fun to kind of have a little secret between us and just like watch the community talk about it without knowing that we created it. But you guys should let me know how you feel about this family, about the lot. Have you personally played as them? Like, have you played as Mary and Blossom? What did you think about them? Thank you guys so much. I hope this video was entertaining. I just kind of wanted to give you like a little behind the scenes of how we went about the process and what it actually meant and how we all did our own little parts for it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any like questions about this family or about the build that I maybe can answer, then definitely let me know down in the comments below and I will try and get back to as many as possible. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on Sparked. Like, without this YouTube channel, without you guys watching what I create and my storylines and all these crazy adventures that we've gone on over the last like 7 years, I would never be able to say that a storyline that I came up with made its way into the game. So that's all thanks to you guys. And also, I don't want to take any credit away from the girls. Like, they did absolutely incredible as well. So to Jessie and to Fry, they know how much I love them, but they are insane at what they do. So definitely go follow both of them. Subscribe to them if you aren't already. I adore them so much, and I'm so glad we all got to go on this crazy journey together. I honestly don't think I would have chosen any other people to go through it with. So big thank you to the girls, and I will speak to you guys in my next one. Bye.